Hello viewers, Super GT here. We have a challenge in today's video, and that is trying to keep up with one of, if not the quickest daily race player in the region. Now this is Daily Race C from a few weeks back, and it's around the Nürburgring plus Nordschleife, both together in one big tasty circuit. Okay then, there he is, Starcevic, the guy in the lead. We're going to go immediately for tasty move up the inside. The guy there braked pretty early, so we took the invitation, got the inside. Now Starcevic then, one of the quickest players, if not the quickest, I've seen regularly playing the daily races. Almost always in the top 10 leaderboard, especially in the Group 3 races. And therefore that puts him on pole position the vast majority of the time in the races, and it's very difficult to keep up with him in any race, any scenario where he's at the front. It's very hard to get the job done on him, but we're going to try and just at least try to keep up with him for some amount of time. Now the main thing I have in my favour is of course the slipstream, and that really does help, as every time I go down the straight then I'm going to get a little bit of a boost. Every time I can keep up a little bit easier than I normally would. Now around this circuit, obviously it's a very long track, you're looking at a lap time of over 8 minutes, and over the course of that 8 minutes he normally gains about 3 or 4 seconds, and it's quite hard to exactly pinpoint the precise moments where he's gaining tenths here and there, but it really is just a case of every corner it's just almost like he gains a tenth. And it kind of highlights the difference between, you know, the top players and then the players a little bit lower, or any sort of difference between any player who is better than another player. You're trying to work out the difference between the two, and normally it's just very, very fine little things. Getting on the power a tiny bit earlier, being a tiny bit smoother, using a tiny bit more of the track. And there's just all these little things that just add up to being a lot smoother and a lot faster overall. But it's very, very difficult, because sometimes you can watch the replays of these guys. You can watch the top replays of these top players. You can watch them on the top 10 leaderboard, and you think I could do that. But then you try and do it, and you can almost do it, but you can't quite do it. So these guys do just have that extra couple of percent of an advantage. And you can see here he's just beginning to edge clear, still within the slipstream range. I mean, I'm within the 1.5 seconds at 1.2 at the moment, but he's beginning just to pull away, and it is, as I say, just every corner is just a little bit here and there, and I just can't quite do enough. Now, the reason I say he's the quickest daily race player is there are, I mean, I'm pretty sure there are quicker players in the game. There are quicker players, but not all of the top players, let's say like Lightning, Fraga, you really don't get them all the time in lobbies or the daily races. They don't jump, I mean they do jump in sometimes, but really not a lot. So out of all the people that play regularly and often, I would say Starcevic is certainly right up there. I'm not even sure if I've beat him before. Maybe if he starts at the back, there's a chance, but in a straight up race then it's probably not going to happen. So now we're on the cusp of being dropped out of the slipstream range. 1.5, in fact, the gap has gone above 1.5 now, and he's just ever so smooth on that car. As by the end of the lap, it's the end of lap 1 now, he, as soon as he broke that toe, he just really got away very quickly, and the gap now 3.7. And I was keeping quite close to him. You see there, he's not too far away. It's not a million miles, I suppose, so it could be worse, but he's definitely beating me. He is quite easily beating me. That was the end of the first lap. We had 50% fuel left, gap now up to 4 seconds. Now the problem we had is that the guy behind us was catching up, the Russian that we overtook in the first corner. Then he went and flew basically into the wall, and I thought, you know what, I could beat you here, I could match you. And I went flying into the wall as well. Bit of a silly mistake, just dipping 2 wheels onto the grass, and and it sends me into the barrier realm. So 1 apiece for myself and the Russian. So that was a really silly mistake because the gap was going up to about 4 seconds between myself and the guy behind, which is probably enough just to see myself home safely. But my mistake brought it back down again, and by this point, down to 1.1. So he got back into the slipstream. As soon as they're in the slipstream, then they have a chance because of the very long straight on this circuit at the end of the lap. And it all pretty much builds up to that. On this occasion it won't though, because he's just binned himself into the barrier once again, and that time I was firmly home in second, just less than 10 seconds away from Starcevic. Now I kept up with him for about half of a lap, but then ultimately once he got clear he just really just pulled away. So this was the next race, and actually Starcevic got overtaken. I suppose this is the best way to beat a faster player, just to get ahead of them and control the race from in front. You can slow them down, you can keep them at your pace, but ultimately for Nicholas Carl here, who was in the lead, he got overtaken eventually. He made this mistake, got a penalty, and I managed to get the toe here. I'm in the Supra this time around, and I can confirm that I definitely did not run out of fuel. So just a disclaimer, I didn't run out of fuel. I'm not sure why it's gone blurry. Can't think why. But here we go again then. So we've done one in the Mercedes, done one in the Supra. We're going again in the Supra, and we're starting from 4th. It's going to be very difficult to at least get close to Starcevic. It's almost impossible. You need to be starting 2nd or in front of him, but then you need to put in about 5 billion days or 5 billion laps worth of practice just to get a qualifying lap anywhere near. But that is often the key to success, getting that good qualifying lap. We haven't quite done that on this occasion. Well, 4th isn't too bad, I suppose, on the grid. Let's see what we can do then. Coming down towards the first corner. Always quite a tricky one to judge as we try to spot our braking point. Look for that apex and see some cars go flying beyond us on the radar, but we don't get collected. So we're staying in 4th. Pepe versus Nicholas, the battle of the Germans on the German circuit. It's the Mercedes versus the Supra. And it turned out that the Supra, I think, was the best car for this track, although the Mercedes is a very solid option as well. So Nicholas already passed Pepe. Can we try to undercut him here? Not quite. Not quite able to do it. Coming down the hill then towards the hairpin, followed by the spine collector, quite ominously, sending people's spines to the shadow realm. Hopefully not mine. I'm going to try and pull away from him, but we have Pepe in our way here, who's had a bit of a shaky first lap, dropping from 2nd to 3rd, has made a couple of mistakes here in the Mercedes. I'm going to try to make it a Toyota 1-2-3 if I can get past him. Not quite at this moment. So through the left and then onto this right here, quite a crucial corner, onto the back straight before the final chicane of the GP loop. Now this corner coming up isn't quite the best overtaking opportunity. He's going to cover the left hand side. It's not as big a braking zone as the other chicane, the NGK chicane here. So he goes through on the inside. And I'm not sure what he does here, but he just brakes, and I really can't think why. And I go right to the back of him because I just really did not expect that at all. And unfortunately we dropped down to 7th courtesy of that. So we've got a lot of work to do here, a lot of work on our hands. But sometimes I kind of enjoy these races where you're trying to fight through. Obviously it's quite annoying if that happened, but we've got a challenge on our hands now to try to maybe let's get back onto a podium or back into 4th where we started. As we all know, the Nürburgring Nordschleife is really just not an easy track to overtake on. A lot of the time you're kind of just settling into position and just waiting for this straight at the end, or waiting for the GP loop where you can overtake a lot easier. And the main thing is just really waiting for a mistake from the car ahead to give yourself a chance for that overtaking move. So as we come up here towards Flugplatz, big crest, kind of have to lift if we go into this double right-hander, very fast sweeping corner. Need to get that right to give you a good run onto this straight. Are we able to go for the move here? The Mercedes covers to the left, I go to the right, and I still have the slipstream of the cars ahead, which is crucial in this move here, as then I just get ahead. Mercedes backs out and we're back into 6th place. On the brakes into the right-hander, right onto the back of the Corvette. So 3 cars immediately in front of us. Pepe's having a bad day here. He's on the back foot. I can't really explain what that move was at the end of the chicane or the end of the GP loop. He just seemed to brake really early. I'm not sure if he's trying to let me pass or something, but there was obviously a miscommunication and I lost a couple of positions as a result. Trying to fight our way through here. We've got a Corvette just in front and then 2 Mercedes. One of them is are they the SLS? Can't quite tell. A Mercedes of some sort. So just being patient at this point of the race as we head down towards this twistier section of the circuit. Fast sweeping left-hander here, very easy to get wrong, and many people do. Then a tightening left here. As we have about 3/4 of the race remaining. It is very much a fuel-saving. Well, it is a fuel-saving race. You still drive quite quick, but you do need to be a little bit mindful of your fuel for this one. So just short shifting a little bit, and especially when you're in the slipstream, that gives you the opportunity to save fuel a lot easier. As every time you go down the straight, you're going a little bit quicker in the slipstream, you can short shift even more or use a leaner setting on your fuel mix. So it's not too bad to be sitting behind everyone. You can kind of just save fuel. The guy at the front of the queue isn't saving as much fuel as the ones behind, but he does have the track position, which is crucial. Now the main thing here really is just waiting and waiting and waiting. It's a good race. I do enjoy this track. I do enjoy this 2-lapper around the circuit. I think a 3-lapper would have been nice. One where you have to do at least 1 pit stop, because otherwise you're just conserving everything and just driving smoothly and just keeping the track position. But sometimes it'd be nice if they just did a 3-lap race around here and gave you the chance to do 1 pit stop, or kind of made it compulsory where you basically couldn't do it unless, even if you did maximum fuel saving, you wouldn't be able to do it, do a no stop. But hey ho, I don't decide the daily races, so that's not going to happen really, I don't think. So Spine Collector gets through past Pepe up here. Very narrow the circuit, very narrow. So to pull off a move around any part of this, the Nordschleife, is very difficult, and you do have to make sure it's finely judged. Otherwise, people are going to get sent into the barrier. And there's a big move. I think the Corvette into the back of the Mercedes, into the back of the other Mercedes. So a bit of a knock-on effect there. And that means Spine Collector, ironically enough, his spine is being collected by the barrier. And he goes down a couple of positions. So it's looking good for him. He was up into 3rd. And then now he drops out outside of the top 8. Can't see him on the board on the left-hand side on the positions. But his loss is our gain, as we now try to challenge 2 more players in front of us, coming through into my favourite section of the circuit. This bit here is just absolutely awesome, really fast and flowing, sweeping corners, and it's just a relentless assault on your senses, left, right, right, left, something like that. As we come over this crest, you can commit a lot to this one, as it just opens up in the exit slightly. Corvette a little bit wide, but again, no way through. As long as you don't make a glaring mistake, as long as this guy doesn't do anything really horrifically stupid, then there's no way I can get past, really. There's just no big, long braking zones. That's what you want. You want a sharp corner with a long braking zone. There's a mistake there. I tried to go around the outside to force something, but the space wasn't quite there, so we have to stick behind for now. Pepe Porsche just gets away as a result of our little indiscretions there. Coming down the crest over the through this double right-hander, another crest over this left-hander here. This section here is beautiful when you get it dead right. Lots of bumps go down, then we really have to commit to this right-hander. Might have to just take 2 wheels on the grass there to straight line it slightly, and then we're coming up to the last couple of corners on the lap before the long straight at the end, which is going to be crucial in deciding the positions of this race. So let's see how this plays out, as Pepe has not got enough of a gap to break the toe, so this is going to be an interesting one. As we then come down towards, this is the long right-hander before the final straight, and it's crucial, of course, to get this one right. I haven't really got it right, if I'm honest, but I am in quite a good position here, especially in the Supra, which has very good straight line speed. Let's see how this goes then. The double toe, the Mercedes at the front doesn't have any toe, the Corvette has one, I have the double. As we come flying past, let's see how this goes. So the Corvette right in the slipstream. He's going to pull to the left. He's going to get the position. I'm going to follow him through. And then am I going to be able to get the position as well on him? He covers the left-hand side. I'm going to go to the right. Corvette versus Toyota power. Plus a bit of slipstream added into the mix. We come through a bit of contact through the apex. I try to give him space. And then we just settle into position as we then break into the hard braking zone at the end of the lap. In third place. So we fought our way back from 7th back to 3rd. And now you see just as a result, actually, as we look behind, guy there just spinning out in the Corvette. But we are already now 7.8 seconds off of 2nd place, 10 seconds away from Starcevic in the lead. And it just shows you, when you get caught in a fight like that, then you're just going to lose so much time. If you want to challenge the top guys, you really do need to qualify very well and make sure that the people slightly behind you on the grid don't start fighting with you. You really need to get away from them as quickly as you possibly can, because once you get caught in a fight, then you really don't have a chance. So main thing to take away really is just qualify very well, ideally better than the people who are faster than you, who are really faster than you. Just really put in all the time to the qualifying lap, and then, well, hope for the best during the race, I suppose. Now we actually got up to 2nd. The guy in 2nd disconnected, I think. And eventually you see here a massive gap, 18 seconds away from Starcevic, so he's absolutely flying in this one. But that is it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and let me know who you think is the fastest player in your region. I mean, I don't know about Asia and the Americas. There may well be faster players over there. But thank you so much for watching as always. If you did enjoy, maybe consider hitting the like button and subscribing if you are new to the channel. I shall see you next time. Have a very nice day. Goodbye.